Party.
And it's the 3rd Congressional District for U.S. Congress.
Very good. All right, so we got a release today talking about the tactics that one of your opponents has levied on you. What are your thoughts?
Well, Mike Kelly has launched an attack, a blatant lie about me exporting jobs. And I'm really disappointed that Mr. Kelly started making a campaign in this election cycle. Obviously, Mr. Kelly can't talk about something good about himself or just near me. The truth is that I've never exported jobs. That's a falsehood, and it's not true. The North American Free Trade Agreement, which was put in place in the late 90s, put a number of manufacturers at a disadvantage. And Chico Warwick was one of those companies. Now, we did globalize the business, and as a result of that, it was driven by agreements and trade agreements like NAFTA. And the North American Free Trade Agreement had a provision for, through the TAA, where employees who were dislocated from their jobs were able to get trade assistance agreements, trade assistance for expanded unemployment benefits and retraining so that they could become more productive and go other places. And that's what we applied for. As a matter of fact, I was the one that instituted the HR director to make application for that on behalf of our employees, because we could see we had lost more than $16 million in business over a relatively short period of time. And a lot of this business went to companies around the world, including Canada, that really was part of the NAFTA agreement. So the entire document that Mr. Kelly decided in his ad is a NAFTA, refers to a NAFTA agreement. So if you go back and look at my jobs plan speaks specifically to trade agreements as one important point that Congress needs to address. We need free trade and we need fair trade. And those two components have to be in any trade agreement. And they're not in many trade agreements that we're trying to deal with. So that's why it's high on my priority list to make sure that we do have that, so that companies can compete in the global marketplace and we can preserve the jobs we have here in America and allow jobs to prosper and grow. And businesses that participate in that global economy have to be able to do that.
Understood. What else about your job background in Crawford County that you were talking about? Let's think of what's the name of it?
Chico Warwick was the company that I owned and worked at, yeah.
So what specifically about that, other than what you just talked about, those 2 points with the trade, do you think is going to benefit the job market here in North Carolina?
Well, I think there are several components of it. One of it is we need comprehensive tax reform, because we need tax policy and tax legislation that's going to allow American families, farms, and businesses to keep more of their money. And we also need to make sure that these trade agreements are free and fair, and that we have a free currency market. We need to make sure we get a reform on regulatory from the regulatory bodies, because we have regulations that are stifling American manufacturers and putting them at a competitive disadvantage in the global market. And we also need to have a comprehensive national energy policy that's going to put us on the road to energy independence. And those are 4 major components that need to be done.
What about the folks that are saying deregulation is what got the American economy into all this trouble in the first place?
Well, deregulation has to do with issues with regard to competitive things such as the airline industry being deregulated. I'm talking about regulatory policies that are driven by regulatory agencies that are specifically putting rules into manufacturing operations that aren't beneficial to the manufacturers, aren't beneficial to the workers, and companies around the world do not have to adhere to those kinds of regulations.
Yeah, understood. Any thoughts you want to share?
Well, I think one of the things that's extremely important is we should be looking at a way to take a high road on the campaign, and this negative tone that's come out this past weekend really is very, very disappointing.
Understood. Paul, as always, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chris.
Wish you well.